The Layer's a hard place to live. Real hard. Ain't no soft landing nowhere in it. Smiling at you like it already know your name, already in the room when you walk in. That's the slings and arrows, you don't hear them fly, you just feel that sting and wonder where it came from. Whole layer wrapped in dark mystery. Old magic in the walls. Wizards whispering deals they don't keep. Dragons watching from the shadows, counting bodies like loose change. Succubus love looks sweet at first, then you wake up lighter than you went to sleep. Heart tax, soul pawn. It's war out here. Quiet war. Betrayal wears silk and smile real nice. Same cats break bread with you. Be the one selling your name 2 streets over. This whole thing a stone cold trip, baby. No fair fights, no refunds. So whatever shield you walk around with, it better be battle tested. Not shiny. Not shiny. Not fresh out the armory, I'm talking chip paint. Bent edges. Blood you couldn't wash off even if you tried. Cause the layer don't care how fly you look in your armor. They care what's still holding when the smoke drifts off. If you still here tomorrow, still breathing, still standing on your square, then yeah, you's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Layer.
Adjustments, baby. Adjustments. Hey, Almanize. Hello, everyone. Got another one like the other one, y'all. Let me see. Wrong one. This one. Drop that one. As we get into the groove. Get into the groove. You like to move your love to me. What's this? What's ringed? What's yellow tape?
Another 90s hood murder scene. Seen it once, seen it twice, same thing, yeah. Sirens ring, sax cry, lights gleam. Another 90s hood murder scene. It is what.
Little wake me up music. Turn it down to her. Trying to be innovative with that. Eaterman Williams. What it do? Eaterman. We're going to get right into it. I want to look at what JT the Bigger Figure got to say about Messy Marv right quick. Wait a minute, is this even recent? I just saw it. I didn't. Okay, a day ago. All right, let's hit the like button. Okay. Make sure we pull it up because we ain't been doing that lately. Let's see what JT, the bigger figure out of San Francisco, got to say about Messy Marv, another figure out of San Francisco.
What y'all don't know is me and Mess got history. What y'all don't know is that I left Mess with my studio in 1998. And I ain't gonna go into the whole story, but you know, it's a dude named Mac Minister, right? From Fillmore, he was popular.
Matter of fact, let's turn it up a bit. Speed it up, I mean. Gotta remember to do that. Let's go up to 30.
And they was plotting to steal the studio. Mess didn't tell me. I gave the keys to Mess and left him with the studio. I'm teaching him how to make beats. I come back one day, everything gone. I was supposed to kill Mess and Queen and Mac Minister and Mike D and Scat. It was a 5-man combo, right? But instead of me killing Mess, Quinn, Mike D, because it was murder. But it wasn't just me, it's the niggas that love me. The whole Fillmore was finna go to war over that studio. Guess what I did? I learned from the minister. Don't kill no black man over none material. If I didn't listen to Minister Farrakhan, I would have bodies right now and I'd probably be dead or in prison. Because ego make you get revenge. If a nigga steal your shit, it ain't about, oh, I'm sorry, my nigga, we gonna be friends and work it out and all that shit. Hell no. Oh man, what the fuck? Let me see. Yeah, it ain't about none of that shit. It's about make a decision because the pain you feeling right now today, that same pain. Uh-oh, there they go. Memphis PD. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens. Memphis PD, they back at it. It's going down. Oh, there they go. Did I tell you? Them niggas be working, boy. Oh, shit. Yeah, the pain temporary, man. Like, you know, I ain't telling you don't kill nobody if that's what you feel you want to do because that's not my job. But what I am saying is that I didn't let that shit. Real Memphis. I see you, baby. I see you. South Memphis. When you see them gold teeth, boy, you know that's a real Memphis nigga right there. But yeah, though, man, so that shit Mess did, he responsible. Nigga, if I let you stay at my house and you let some niggas steal something out of my house, nigga, you responsible. So when I see him in a fucked up ass position, I don't celebrate. I just be like, you know, shit, he asked for it, nigga. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Did you pay attention? Yeah, if you do something to somebody, nigga, and something start happening to you, how do the person supposed to feel that you did something to? Oh, I feel so bad for him. Let's pray for him. Let's go. Well, go get him. Just because I say fuck him, nigga, that don't mean you got to say fuck him. I'm like, fuck that nigga, man. Shit, nigga. He ain't no different than anybody else family member who on drugs, nigga. You ain't trying to save them. And you ain't trying to save him. If that's your favorite rapper, man, keep loving them. I'm not competing with no nigga, bro. Somebody said, well, you can't sell out a tour. Mess can. I don't give a fuck about a tour. Oh, he got this many Spotify listeners. I don't give a fuck about a Spotify listener. I care more about traffic subscribers and I get all the money. I'm the illest. When it comes to this, man, JT is the smart. JT, look, I play stupid and I play broke. And I'm not in the flashy shit. Y'all ain't never saw me buy a buzz down chain. Y'all ain't never saw me spending money on jewelry and all that. You never saw that, ever. Now, I bought some jewelry in the past, but not like the way it is now. Like, you know, you buy the buzz down, you got to buy your chain with your name and all. That's not more important to me than having money. You did?
Yeah, I don't want the fame. I just want the money. I just want to be able to pay bills comfortably, help out people I care about. And matter of fact, make sure I'm stable, but be able to help people I care about. Because I know it'll be a lot of people hurting and not everybody looking out for them. Yeah. That's what I want. I want to have the success to be able to be a blessing to other people.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to have the money. I got a wife and 5 children. I'm 52. I'm living the life that I planned when I was in my 20s. I pray when I'm in my 50s, I don't gotta sell dope, depend on bitches, pimp hoes, scam, sell weed, sell dope. Nigga, I kick back, do movies. I own all my masters. Man, I'm happy with that. You get no fuck if a nigga album sound better, nigga. I got more money. I want the money. He can have the fame. You know, did you know rappers don't get the respect in the boardroom? Let me say that again. Let me make sure y'all understand. Why do I feel the way I feel? I learned in 1992. I was 18. I learned that the rapper get the lowest amount of money. The fuck I want to be the rapper for? I mean, I want to rap because I like to. It's fun. I'm having fun. But nigga, I'm the CEO. I'm the one that pay for this shit. I'm the executive. Nigga, give me my money. And I don't got to beg for it. Nigga, it's mine already. If we doing the deal, nigga, I got to put my signature on that shit. Which y'all don't know, Mess signed to a nigga who signed to a nigga. Then they end up selling his whole catalog. So why y'all crying about, oh, he look bad, we should do it? Y'all should be trying to put y'all money together to help him get his catalog back. Now, that's what you would call real love right there. That's love right there. Y'all niggas help that nigga get his catalog back because it's worth a lot of fucking money. If you're not going to do that, you should calm down and quit leaving comments. Because JT, I'm not about it. I promise you, I'm not trying to talk down on Mess, none of that. But when I made a little post out, I say, they say, man, look at Mess, man, I'm tired of this shit. I say, man, he asked for it. Now I got 1,000 niggas attacking me like, oh, he's better than you. I say, bro, that's okay. Nigga, I'm 52. Look at my skin, nigga. Look at me. I'm thankful to God. I pray to God, nigga. I'm not to kill everybody. All that gangster rap shit, nigga. When you put that much murder music out there, nigga, like it's a joke, you think God is gonna bless you? He bless some people that, you know, they can say all that shit and get away with it. But some people, he don't let them get away with it. You influencing niggas to kill niggas. You influencing niggas to pay what they know. So it's a joke until that shit come back to your doorstep. Now, oh my God. Nah, don't say, oh, no, don't do that. Cause we all know better.
It's it is interesting, the imagery, the vocals, the bravado, the ego behind all that. I say all the time, I'm a lame, I'm a square, I'm a sucker. I just want to do good business and keep it pushing. I ain't nobody. It costs too much to be so-called somebody. Again, what I want stability, to be in a position to help my loved ones consistently, to be able to be there for them. And all that is having stability and confidence in whatever work it is you're doing. I don't like going into a job, man. People be like, just lie, just get in there and get fired on a weekend. Now, I want to get in there and know what I'm doing and do it effectively so I'm recommended to other people. But I don't wish no negativity on nobody because all that stuff come back to you.
Right from wrong, man.
And even though people know all kind of people that have done all kind of dirt and they still been doing the whole time, shout out to them. I don't like the energy. I don't want the energy.
We all know from right from wrong. All of us. Oh my God. You think you could play with God? It's niggas right now that's doing shit that they not tripping on. As me being 52, I seen the cycles of niggas who came and went, niggas who was here and they dead, niggas who was here and they in jail. I watched our niggas play with people's life through music, telling your kids it's okay to do this and do that. And then watch their kids get smoked. And watch them get smoked. That's why I always try to say positive shit. Positive energy. Oh, you a soft now. Mess hard. You soft. Soft is okay with me. Oh, you square now, Fig. Square will cut your ass. Yeah, square, nigga, 4 corners will cut your fucking neck off. Oh, you ain't with the shit no more, man. I never been with the shit. I'm with defense, nigga. I know how to do defense. Defense win the champion. If you can't score, nigga, put me in the ground, nigga, who won? And if you die before me, who won? If you go to jail before me, who won? If your stupid ass don't want to listen, messing them niggas didn't listen to me. 90% of the Field Mo rappers didn't listen, and niggas was joining forces against me. So how you think why I feel how I feel? Nigga, I run Field Mo now. Fuck the turf Field Mo. I run this shit worldwide. There ain't no nigga from Field Mo in prison, dead or in jail. The biggest shooter, the biggest, nobody can sell Fig. Nigga, I'm the biggest thing from my hood, nigga. In the streets and in the music. Come to LA, come to Chicago, come to Memphis and say Field Mo. They gonna say, oh, you fucking Fig? You ain't gonna go out. Ain't no Field Mo nigga finna go in these trenches, playing with my name, saying they from Field Mo. And then they gonna ask you fucking Fig? And they call my phone and your goofy ass in one of these projects and you was one of them niggas playing on my name. I'm gonna tell them, man, strip that nigga. What? You gonna strip your own Field Mo, man? Strip all them niggas. Catch them niggas out of town, playing games, playing on my name, nigga. I'm just saying though, I ain't cool, nigga. I ain't get this far just being no cool. I'm just cool, but I'm not cool. I'm just like y'all. That go for you Bay Area niggas too. Play with my name, nigga, be in these cities somewhere. You in the club having fun. Now don't think I'm sending nobody, but I'm just saying, you know. What's up, my G?
Back, bitch ass nigga.
It's everything being said, right? Let's go back. Make sure we put that link in the description.
What y'all don't know is me and Mess got.
Make sure we go back and put that link in the description. Little 9-minute little thing. That's somebody else and snatched up a clip. They put it out yesterday. We don't know how old that content is because everything old is new again if you didn't hear it. A lot of people repurposing content. They just slap another name on it, and everybody that didn't see it think it's brand new. If it was good content then, it's good content now. Believe me when I tell you. If it was good content then, it's good content now. And you don't need no panel. You could do it all by yourself, all reaction. Or you could put a camera on a tripod, aim it at the garden while you planting your flowers, while you planting your vegetables. You could aim a camera down at the table while you assemble a car. Man, content. But you wanna narrow your niche down. If you're gonna be doing a gardening thing, let all your gardening thing be like this right here is 2 main channels. You could have a couple channels on each one of the main channels. But if you don't have a channel that's just strictly about gardening, that'd be all gardening, all garden related stuff. Y'all hear me show images over here. Y'all hear me play music over here because we rebuilding. When we niche down to talking about building a community, showing you different aspects of the things that I do, and find other like-minded people that's into it too. That's got to be niche down directly to them people too. Yeah, man, you got to make it work for yourself, man. You want direct to consumer, you want memberships, you want people to join your campaign, and you got to be able to offer them something that they appreciate and want to do over and over again. If you do it right, it can work out for you. A lot of people is living off of just straight up memberships to their Patreons and whatever else. You got a Patreon, you got 1,000 subscribers to it, they paying $20 a month, you got $20,000. Take your time, know what you're doing, so you can give them good information that's beneficial where they can benefit too. You want to always be giving people information that they can utilize and they can make some money their damn self. I done told people about if you're making the AI music, go get the distro kit. I think it's $40, and the distro kit distribute it out. You got to have a paid account on Suno so you can publish it and get your copyrights and whatever else, and then your distro kit, and then see what it do. Some people have type beat channels. The channel ain't nothing but shorts with snippets of all they beats. The channel don't do nothing but show you short after short after short after short after short. Some of them even niche it down more than that. They'll have like EBK beats. They'll have Larry June beats. They'll have old school 2 short beats. It's just all old school 2 short beats. 2 short type beats. EBK type beats. Larry June type beats. Currency type beats. It's a way to make this work. And some people can just go directly to your channel and they can hit the like button. They can get you, and especially if you monetize, they can hit a thanks. They can be a membership so they can have exclusive so they can hear it first. You got to niche down to specific things. Find it is what you do well and focus on that. Just do it over and over and over and over and over again. And if if 0 people watching, make sure the content that you make, you like it. It's good content to you. So when people go back and watch, they be like, oh, okay, cool. Got to be something that people can benefit from. Now we're gonna move from JT talking about mess to DL Hughley talking about Killer Mike. Let me see. I want to make sure that speed is up still. Let me see. Speed. Yeah, you gotta make sure that thing is turned up to 130. I'm gonna keep it at 135. See, make sure it's up here. There it is. Let's go.
Plus News, I'm Danaba.
And I'm talking directly to you, Killer Mike. Your ass is tagged. Shut the fuck up. Because wasn't this your in 2024?
Let's make sure we speed it up some more. Still sound like I didn't speed it up at all. When we all just saw me do it. Speed is at 135. Let's turn it up to 145. Let's go.
Oh no, this is your ass again. Killer Mike says Kamala's race won't be a key in 2024. It's progressive for me. You one of the reasons why we in this shit.
Killer Mike is currently being checked across the internet for a new video he will share on his social pages, calling for people to vote ahead of the upcoming midterms and to further spread awareness on a recent Voting Rights Act decision.
Hey, what's up? Onyx Impact, Black Male Initiative. This is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render. 1965 Voters' Rights Act just got gutted. They gutted it. They literally eviscerated it, and it's now trying to make it easier or allowed it to be easier for states to redraw district lines to annex those most in need out. This is not just Black people and African Americans. This is poor people. So based on where you are, the more poor people that can chop you up, they can make sure you aren't voting on behalf of the poor and the interest. They can make sure that it affects your schools. They can make sure it affects your jobs. They can make sure it affects every part of your life. So right now, you need to be putting pressure on our local politicians and local municipalities not to do this. You need to be putting pressure.
Yeah. And they're saying that you're a part of the problem because this should have been the mindset from the get-go. But the thing with both parties, conservative and liberal, is they both got a little something wild going on. The liberal side, we were seeing earlier today when we was listening to Myron argue with the trans woman. The liberal side is what we were listening to the other day when we was listening to that woman say that she has a problem with heterosexuality, nuclear family, capitalism, patriarchy, and misogyny. That's how she sees men in general. Oh yeah, she said capitalism. So heterosexuality, misogyny, capitalism, the nuclear family, and traditional roles. I got a problem with that. So if we go along with that, because the person kept saying this in 2026, and the woman kept saying that when she was reacting to Cheyenne Bryant, that she wished Cheyenne Bryant would just come on over to the feminist side. But they should need to start calling it the LGBT feminist side, because it's very anti-man. But they're saying that he helped influence people to vote for Trump, and Trump is the one that's repealing everything so they can get back to some old school, making America great again.
To make sure that those like you and like your neighbors still have the ability to exercise the full constitutional rights of voting, and it being effectively not eviscerated and us being taken back to Jim Crow. So we're going to start the largest voter initiative possible this fall. We're going to get people out to the polls. We're going to beat up those midterms, and going forward, we're going to do more than just march and protest. We're going to go to the polls. We're going to change the people who are in office. We're going to get those laws back changed in the favor of the people. This is Michael Render. Stay tuned. We're going to do something plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize big next.
Now, for anyone that has paid attention to some of Mike's past remarks, it could appear that he was one of the few Black celebrities that would indirectly help Donald Trump secure another run in the White House. Many are calling out one of Mike's main stances of openly challenging Democratic nominee Kamala Harris by saying being Black doesn't guarantee the vote, in the time he would meet up with Trump loyalist Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia in 2024. So for some to see Mike now change his tone a bit after the Voting Rights Act would no longer be upheld as Trump sits in the White House, they believe Mike is partly to blame. Gail Hughley and several people on social media would let the rapper know that it's too late now to switch things up. Under Mike's post of the now infamous video on Threads, Hughley would go on to directly reply with, "Wow, the vibe shift," and would continue his stance by sharing another comment that read, "I see all these Black people who are apoplectic about the Voter Rights Act, but you helped it happen. Miss me with that BS. Google don't forget, neither do I. Get the F out of here." Now, even though that message, unlike the previous one, was not directly addressed to Mike, many would go on to assume that's who Hughley was calling out. As mentioned, several users would make sure that Mike was fully aware of being a part of the problem, despite now trying to appear that he's a part of the solution.
And I'm talking directly to you, Killer Mike. Your ass is tagged. So Killer Mike decided to post this shit on Threads. Americans, we've got work to do beyond the polls this year, no matter what. Plan, plot, strategize, organize, mobilize. Shut the because wasn't this your bitch ass in 2024? Oh no, this is your bitch ass again. Killer Mike says Kamala's race won't be a key in 2024. It's progressive for me. You one of the reasons why we in this shit. You with your fucking misogyny war couldn't I see a Black woman who has been the most qualified person to run for the office be president. You could see that shit. You want to play.
So we have a bonnet on, we have the septum ring, and misogynoir, and it's like a book, man. You're misogynist, you're heterosexual, you believe in traditional roles, you believe in capitalism. These are all the things they're against. So I'm just saying, do people recognize the rhetoric when it comes, whether it's subtly, whatever? I was talking earlier today because somebody, LA Project, made a statement about men in general in the space. So I responded with a statement about women in general in the space. And she wanted to tell me, if I came at you like that, it doesn't matter that you came at me like that. That's not the point. You made a general statement, and then I made a general statement. You said you weren't talking to me. I know I wasn't talking to you, but you got triggered. And that's that nice, nasty shit I be talking about. That's the exact nice, nasty. I'd rather you call me a nigga, zesty, sassy, and all the other shit that you want to call most men in general, then smile in my face and then say something about me changing up. No, I choose to be positive with people in general, including LA Project. But if that's all it takes is for you to think I'm talking to you, because I would say LA Project. I wouldn't go around the mulberry bush and talk indirectly. I talk directly to motherfuckers when I'm talking to them. I say your exact name. I've been doing that on here the whole 4 years I've been here. I don't talk indirectly. If I'm talking about Tommy Sotomayor, I say Tommy Sotomayor. If I'm talking about Minister Jap, I say Minister Jap. If I'm talking about Fatty, if I'm talking about Jay Prince, whoever it is, I say whatever I'm saying about them directly. I don't talk, even back in when I was around these folks, and they would be like, they think that I'm talking about them. No, I would say your name. Because there's nothing to say your name. It's easy to say your name. But the way this woman is talking right here, it's a bunch of women in this space that talk just like this. Black men are dangerous. They agree with damn Freaky Dineva, even though Freaky Dineva is threatening women. Even though there's plenty of tape on these social media streets of people from that community getting ready to fight like they finna fight a man. No, if you make a general statement that, because I come from the generation where we wasn't going to beat our kids, we were going to have a conversation with them, we was going to treat them like human beings and not like animals, like we were treated. So now the young men are more expressive and everything else, and now they zesty and sassy. I thought y'all wanted people to use their words, and now when they're using their words, you don't like the words that they're using? So since that's the pile of shit that you'll dump on men, I'm saying to the people that talk like that, what I said. Now, if you're triggered because that's the shit that you do, that's not me talking about you. You just felt that it fits you. That's a hit dog, right? That's not me talking to you. That's a hit dog. Because again, I would say name specifically. And most of the time when people get at me, I really don't say nothing crazy to them. I just play clips of them all angry, cussing me out. I'm all out of my name and everything else. And I laugh at them and go, now see what this person is doing? I just play their own shit back that they say about me. Just go back and look at my responses. When John Galt was going off, all I said was he was a slumlord and he don't like people, and the people that he talking about is himself. I didn't call him bitches and suck ass niggas and asking what his address was and talk about his wife like we were talking earlier today. And I said specifically, either man, I'm not talking about your wife. And even when they said something about his wife, I was like, hey, y'all, let's leave wives alone. I don't be doing that. But there are stereotypes about certain people. So I preface it with, I am not talking about nobody's wife, but they do say these are jokes. Like when this stuff happened, I wouldn't even get upset because it happens so often. But what it does is it creates an environment where you be like, well, damn, can I even trust these people? Because they talking about they're not into, traditional religion because the Bible is what do they say it is? It's misogynistic. It's disrespectful to women. So then you be asking them what they into. They start talking about spirituality and what is that? And then you have some of them that just straight up say, I'm a little witchy. What does a little witchy mean?
On her race instead of playing on her policy. You dumbass, you it up for us. It's black men like you that need to sit in the background and shut the up. Stop speaking. You are not a leader. Close your mouth and sit in the back row.
Welcome to the party, Killer Mike. Ain't you the same Negro that says just because you black, that don't guarantee your vote? Kind of late for this bullshit.
I'm telling you, those days are over. So many entertainers and famous people and athletes, actors, rappers, whatever. People sick of y'all. So Michael Santiago Rinder.
And that's the thing. It's so many of us, liberal or conservative. But I really haven't heard the liberals tell anybody to shut up. But a lot of liberal people keep telling her, the women just got through saying, niggas shut up. Celebrities, shut up and play basketball. Y'all don't believe in the First Amendment? Let's move past this. So we started off with my good friend, JT the Bigger Figure, talking about Messy Marvin, all that stuff right there. He felt violated by the man, so he don't have no dog in the fight. That's one black person talking to another black person in a group of black people. Here goes some more black people. When we're telling everybody to shut up and you stay over here and you stay over there, and then we want to delineate and all this other stuff, that just narrows us down smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and put us in a niche thing. And then you got, so we separate on religion, we separate on politics, we separate on gender, we separate on age. Then how do we collectivize and come together? Let's move past this one too. D.L. Hughley and black folks going off on Killer Mike. He ain't black no more. I thought Killer Mike was in Atlanta pushing a line. Well, let me see this goes. I got two of them open. No, I don't. I got to go back and get the. I gotta do better. Let's go back. Because now we're finna move on over. And then it's like everybody I be listening to, because I'm just listening to the voices in the space. They go, oh, such and such is a goofy. Oh, such and such is a lame. Then who's the cool kids? And what are the cool kids to help us as a whole when they talk individualistically? I think the individualism is one of the peer problems, the peak problems, the biggest problems that we got going on. We want to niche ourselves down to all these different separate groups. That's that tribalistic shit. It didn't work in Africa too well for us, so I don't know why they think it's going to work out so well for us now. Well, I ain't no African. Well, whatever you were here, wherever you were, anywhere in the diaspora, it's still very tribalistic. Dominicans and Haitians, it's still wherever you go. But it's what men do. Okay. Y'all know my response to that. Shout out to the shout outs. Okay, JT. There you go. Good. I didn't have to look too long for it. Let's make sure we put that link in the description before we move forward. Copy. Let's move on forward. Get JT up out of there. We moving on over to this here. Jackie Treehorn. We'll screen him up. Shut this down. Let me turn this up to see what this sounds like.
So in this particular interview, she's saying that she and Will had broke up, and she's explaining the August Alsina incident from what I understand. And so she's explaining her desire to come public and, come into the public and talk about it. And I think prior to this, because I think this is only a 30-second clip. She says everybody told her not to do it. She decided to do it. Will volunteered to jump on and talk about it. And then she accused him of backing out. Let's hear the rest.
I'm gonna do it. Y'all, I learned how to love myself and not leave Will on the side of the road. And I had to learn how to love Will and not leave myself on the side of the road. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to speak my truth.
All of this speaking my truth shit. I completely agree with you, Elston. I hate that shit too. Because there's nothing.
Speaking my truth mean there's some separate truth other than the truth. See, that's that individualism, separate my truth stuff. Like what's the other one they go? And did and will. That's a individual thing. I said and did and will because I heard the women saying, they said, I can see him moving his neck now, which is calling me gay, which is calling me zesty, but they just saying it in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? They clocking T's and did and willing. If you say y'all took that from the women, who is it y'all? I'm just me. I just listen to all this. When I was younger, I made it a point to not talk so-called slang, whatever the more current terms was. In my real life, I would not be talking like this. But on here, this is what we got. We got tether. We got pause. We got zesty and sassy. We got misandry. We got narcissist. We got gaslight. All these unlicensed people with all these breakdowns of everybody else.
Nothing wrong with it in and of itself. It's how it's been used. It's been used, especially by feminists, to justify the most horrid behaviors and dismiss it. And I think this is part of one of them. I mean, essentially, what she basically says, I found a longer clip, but I've misplaced it. Anyway, but she's basically saying that he got up to discuss it with her and then he bitched out. And so she had to make this grand sacrifice, as she said at the beginning of the clip, and present herself as the adulterous wife. And she says that because she says they technically weren't together. But they never divorced. I still don't. They haven't divorced yet. So you were. Technically, yes, you were an adulterous wife. This is not something you had to pretend to be. But what I find interesting about it is this is a mixture of things. This is a Jedi mind trick on one level. And on another level, this is like the reinvention of a supervillain. Like she basically presented herself as a hero and has a whole team of followers who support her simply because she's another black woman having to endure and sacrifice for these aimless black men. That's how she presented the story. That's how she presented it. But even if you and your husband had an agreement, you have an open relationship, that's something that, y'all should have had between yourselves, but you still fucked up. You still violated the agreement. I'm pretty sure going public was not part of your agreement. Pretty sure. I've been hearing rumors about Will and other folk for years. I ain't seen it yet. I mean, I'm not saying the rumors aren't true, but when's the last time you just seen him completely, having to come forward and admit to it because he was caught beyond caught? But anyway, all of that aside, what I find most interesting about this is I think she's emblematic of a certain personality that we've observed in the black community that doesn't get talked about. And that personality is a wife who's jealous of her husband. I mean, look, I got no ill will for Jada in particular. I mean, she's not my favorite celebrity. Of course, her behavior, especially in terms of her treatment of her husband, has not made her a favorite for me. And that's not because she's a celebrity. It's because I prefer, particularly black wives who honor their husbands. I don't think she's honored him in a very long time. I mean, even back to the days where she was still talking about Pac, to me, over her husband. You know what I mean? I thought the disrespect there was so blatant that I lost respect for her then. So this, to me, is not about her skill as an artist or an actress. I mean, she's cool. But truthfully, without Will, I think she would have just been another black actress from the 90s that just kind of her career just fizzled.
And that's it. And that's the other thing. Y'all hate Megan so much. I don't hate Megan. Y'all hate Jada so much. I don't hate Jada. Jada not doing nothing to me. I don't know if this is just some Hollywood entertainment, keep my name in the present game that her and her husband is playing. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. It just don't look good. But hate this woman? No. Hate Megan? No. Is she a freak? She a freak. There's freaky people. There's people out here banging each other. I'm not angry with y'all women that's out here being freaky. Do y'all thing. But leave it up to y'all. Y'all say this crazy stuff about dudes. I think that's a bigger issue because you can't have every word that come out of your mouth be, these black men is crazy. These black men is violent. Because you're not saying a small group of black, you saying, no, black men. And then I'm just minding my damn business and they go, oh, look, a black man. And then they crack jokes like, well, now it's you white. Why are you worried about it? Another insult. So when it comes from the other gender, they can just sit up and just shit on you all day long. Passive aggressively shit on you. You know how many people that like my daughter's age that call me boy? Boy, shut up. You know, they say if you put a bag over your face and you listen to these men, they sound like Klans member. If you put a bag over a man's face and you listen to these women, they sound like fucking Annie. Hey, Mr. Bojangles. Hey, boy, come here. Shirley Temple was a little girl talking to fucking a grown-ass man, calling him boy. Huck Finn, nigga Jim. So when somebody's my daughter age is calling me, oh boy, shut up. What? Talk to me nice. What? I'm talking shit to you, or are you literally talking shit to me right now? With the boy stuff. And he'll be asleep in a minute. He old. And all that shit is meant to insult me. And then the minute I say something, look at him. And then you motherfuckers who defend that shit, y'all ought to be ashamed of y'all fucking self. The fuck are you defending? You didn't say shit when you was like, oh, leave the OG alone. You laughed at him. You laughed with him. Hey, girls, we can come up there and cut him out for y'all. Y'all want us to threaten him? And then be talking about who's lame. Hilarious.
And I think she knows that. I think part of her frustration is that she's known as Will Smith's wife more so than from her own accomplishments. I think that's part of her problem, right? She's drawn to powerful men, but she wants to be known for what she does. And truthfully, she hasn't been doing much of it. It's not particularly noteworthy. I know she had a band for a minute. She went from TV. She started doing movies. She kind of had her heyday in the 90s. She still occasionally pops up in a movie, but ain't nobody really kicking down doors to go see her, including black women. The same black women that are applauding her newfound direction where she's now no longer a supervillain. She's a sacrificial, long-suffering wife who had to deal with her husband's triflingness when he came to her broadcast. How dare he? He came to her broadcast where she was going to talk about cheating on him, and he somehow bitched out. How dare he? So he is the villain of the story at this point. But I think beyond all,
he had a little stint, I believe, on was it a Batman series or something? She was like a villain or something. That was more recent time, but if y'all are in an open relationship, at least that's what they said, who's doing what to who? It's a lot of tapes of him being like, I just don't want to be recorded right now. We could do the thing because you're trying to, come up in, the social media space, but I just don't want a camera on me soon as I open my eyes. I look at some of these relationship prank things, and you can see on the person's face, they don't want to be fucked with right then. And for some reason, to the husband or the wife, that's the best time to fuck with you. That is crazy. It's like a humiliation ritual. I'm finna humiliate my wife. Watch this. I'm finna humiliate my husband. Watch this.
Well, that again, I think she's emblematic of a very particular archetype. Who's had some success in her own life, but is with somebody who is more pronounced, more well-known, more accomplished. And even though all of those accomplishments benefit her, she takes issue with it. But she doesn't leave. Now, see, this is where it got interesting. I wasn't going to do this particular show today. I was going to do another subject. And yesterday, a brother of mine sent me one of the clips about her. And he and I got into a conversation. And he was saying, man, I don't understand what this is. Why is she always down talking him? Why is she always dismissing him and this and that? And, we were going back and forth. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, when's the last time you found yourself with a woman that was jealous of you? And he had a hard time with this. And I think that a lot of black men have a problem with coming to terms with the fact that their woman might be jealous of them because there's so much emphasis placed on us while we're growing up, being good black men, sacrificing for women, right? Prioritizing their feelings and their worldviews, making room for them to shine. And your job is to be the support mechanism under her feet. There's so much of that social training in black families for black boys, most particularly because many of us were raised in single parent led homes. Now, that didn't mean that fathers were completely absent, but it did leave many black women in a position of authority over who gets to technically stay in the family. See, black women had access to family courts, most particularly since the 70s and the rise of no-fault divorce. This granted them, alongside the pill, it granted them the power to define first who the family was. If she got pregnant, and this was long before DNA technology was easily accessible or available, she got to say who the father was. That's first and foremost. She defined the terms on who was in the family, even if she knew he wasn't the father. That's first. Second, with family court, she got to determine how much access anybody outside of her had to the kids. She got to define if you just were completely exiled, but you still had to send child support, or if you got to see them on an off, a frequent basis. All of that, in many ways, was left to her. Now, she filtered that through the family court. That was where the authority came from, but most of the time the courts relied and deferred.
And I just wonder, like the people that say, I'm not saying all men, but I'm saying this, every day a man. Do they see any fault in the things that women be doing? Or is all this free to go because that's a woman? I was on a panel the other day where they were talking about the Megan stuff. And every man on that panel said, oh yeah, that was some sucker shit. You got to mislead a woman who's already said she a freak. You got to lie to a hoe. Just tell her what your intentions are from the get-go so she don't feel misled. She probably go anyway. I've been hearing that so many years of my life. I don't know why people feel they got to lie to kick it. But my thing is, did he lie to kick it? Or was he just trying to do something, and the minute he got near her, she just started filming and saying this, and this. And he just went along to get along, and then just, got to that point where I don't want to be filmed right now, and then this is it.
So if the mother said you violated your kids, or if she said that you were a horrible father, the court kind of went with whatever she said went down. So this is what I mean when I say women had control of the family. It's not because they always had it. I'm not going to go with this fantastical bullshit, this magical black woman that just determines everything because she's brilliant and magical. No, she had powers that men didn't have because of policy, right? But having that power and the capacity to define family and who was in it on a regular basis, this had a huge influence on how children were socialized. That meant they were socialized around her philosophies and worldviews, right? So when she taught that the black woman was God, even if she didn't use that language, but she taught you to worship and prioritize black women first, it's the same idea. Whether you have the terminology or not, if that's how you were socialized from your earliest years, mind you, as a child, for example, living off of breast milk, your whole existence depends on her mood, her will, her state of mind, especially when she's made it a point to be the only one there. So this is not just some arbitrary person that told you something in the hallway about what to believe about men and women. This is the woman that gave birth to you, that may have pushed anybody else with authority that could question her out of her reality, and then told you how to look at women. This is how we're raised. And I think Will, in his marriage with Jada, reflects a little bit of this as well, right? Jada goes off the ham and does some dumb shit. Will goes along with it. A lot of this has to do with how we've been socialized. So, when I look at this notion of a mother being jealous, what I'm fundamentally talking about, a woman being jealous of her man, many women are taught that they are, especially in the last 50 years, they're supposed to be the superstar. They're supposed to be the face out there. They're supposed to be the women that can have it all. They're supposed to be the baller. You're supposed to be the supporting audience to her success. With Black Girl Magic and the whole deal, she is supposed to be the CEO of her.
What up, LA?
Her own company. You're supposed to be somewhere in the back sweeping the floor while at the same time holding down a job that pays for her reality so that even when the appearance of the business is far from the reality of the business, she can still look good while you keep the ground under her feet. And too many black men have reported to living this existence. Shout out to John Smith. Appreciate that support. Right? But you have some women that have very little talent who happen to be.
My thing is, if we just be fair with each other, why are you doing that? Why are you being John Henry for somebody you could never satisfy? What up, Ruthless? Why are you being John Henry for someone you could never satisfy? You're not gonna satisfy. I was listening back at Leslie Jones talking about the first sign. She took somebody to the Ritz or something, and he couldn't fuck worth the shit. Then the next time again, okay, cool. Then we listen to Yamanika Sanders say something it's like you can't satisfy. So why are you working out your hardest, getting your muscles the biggest and the strongest to try to sit here and just hump and 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 hump? And she probably done got off 2 or 3 times, but she telling you, and pat you on the back. You tried. I call it John Henry because John Henry went up against a steam engine to bust through a mountain. Now he got through the mountain, but he passed away on the other side. It's you versus the roads. It's you versus a piece of silicone. You want to take on. When I see women pat dudes on the back and say, "You just got to be confident." Confident about what? Confident about what? Charleston White said these women is turning y'all into freaks. And then telling everybody, oh, he want 3 fingers. Oh, he did. It's all about humiliation. If you don't do what I tell you to do.
Tied to extremely talented men. Right? And this is a source of frustration. This is why the title is so kind of convoluted in a way. She needs you, she hates you, she loves you, sort of, but wants you to fail. Right? Her martyr complex exposed. This is what Jada is doing in this moment. She's presenting herself as a martyr who had to sacrifice and endure this incredible pain from her trifling husband, her multi-million-dollar trifling husband, who I fundamentally believe is jealous of his success because she knows that at this point in her life, she's Will's wife. To a lot of people who never watched A Different World, who didn't see some of her movies back in the 90s, or her occasional popping up in a movie here or there, who never saw her band perform. She's Will's wife, and I think that fundamentally frustrates her. So she constantly digs at him, tears down his public image whenever she gets a chance, right? Foregrounds a man who's well-known but has been dead since the mid-90s over the man that she's standing with, who's one of the most world-renowned actors in the world. Look, let me tell you something. Regardless of what you think about Will, I say this, in conversation with certain people. Look, when you can pull Tom Hanks level shit as an actor, this is what I mean by that. If you can hold down a movie for 2 hours and be the only person on the screen the entire time, and not only do people love it, but the movie does well, you're at a whole nother level. Now, Will, as a rapper, I think I liked 2 songs back in the day, but I was rather indifferent. He was okay. When he was on Fresh Prince, funnier than I thought he would be. It was cool. Didn't go crazy over it. When he transitioned into film, his early exploits was like, okay, but I watched the man grow. And I gotta say, regardless of what you think of him as a person.
Yeah. Our early sightings of Will, I wouldn't say he was a nerd. I would say he was just an average, regular dude. He hadn't found himself yet. So I like Summertime, but that's Will trying to sound like Rakim. I like Brand New Funk. Yeah, he wasn't like one of the greatest rappers for me. He was okay. And the same thing with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was okay. He wasn't a nerd. He was just like a regular dude. But yeah, we did see him grow in these movies. He is like a A-listed actor. We saw him grow. We saw Jamie Foxx grow. We saw Queen Latifah grow. Jamie has done some A-lister acting stuff. Chadwick Boseman has. But think about what he just said. For you to be the only face on screen and carry a movie for 2 years and keep people, stuck to the screen. There have been movies where they try to centralize characters, and they're great actresses. I would say that Helen Mirren, Sigourney Weaver, Meryl Streep, Jodie Foster, they're just very powerful women in movies and films. I like Ashley Judd, I liked, but I wouldn't say that Ashley is an A list, but she's a very good actress. I would even say J Lo has done very well in films. I liked Enough. Everybody can't do it though. I like Selma Hayek in films. I like Scarlett Johansson. I don't know what happened with Jada, but she kind of peaked at Set It Off. And as far as the big screen, I don't know if she just didn't have opportunities or whatever else. But everybody just isn't that. But we know her. But the things that she's doing publicly now, again, is this her like Charleston White thing? Is this a character? Or is that really her? Even online, when I hear these women just go off on dudes, is that like a character for clicks and views? Or is that really you? And even when I hear the women go, like I said, I listen to a lot of Cynthia G, Kendra G, what's her name? Shira 7. I never was like, oh, I'm angry with this woman and da 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 da. But I'm listening to shit that they saying, and I always wondered, is this like niching down to talk to certain women because those women feel like that's a woman came on my panel a while back and came up here and said, I came to the internet because I heard y'all was up here talking crazy about baby mamas. And I asked her, well, who is y'all? I didn't say you, but you're on my panel at like 2 o'clock in the morning talking to me when I'm talking. My show at that time was called Why Not Calm the Savage Animal. And on the thumbnail was a lady sitting on a park bench blowing bubble gum with the Incredible Hulk next to her. Now, the symbolism was supposed to mean that that woman kept Bill Bixby, David Banner, so angry he couldn't be David Banner. He just had to be the Incredible Hulk. But the Hulk wasn't doing nothing to her. He just was sitting on the other side of the bench. Why? Because this big, strong beast can't do nothing. So then she flipped over to, and I don't like when you men always call yourselves animals. I said, David Banner is a white man. What? That's a black woman blowing bubble gum, and the Incredible Hulk is on the side of her. The Incredible Hulk is not black. The Incredible Hulk is David Banner. That's a white man. She just came up here angry, and then she said, "Bomb Cherry sent me." So then I did a show the next day about the stuff she said. And I said, she said I kicked off a panel. I know I don't kick women off panels, so let me go find who that was. Then we went back and found the show. It was a show about Diddy and Cassie. The dudes was up there saying that Cassie is on bullshit, and the women was up there angry. So then D-Town, Bomb, and a couple of the squad was over there, and it was Sway and Granville and everybody else, and they was going back and forth. And Granville said, let me drop this chick. Granville was second in command back then. And then she said, yeah, that was you. They said you had dropped me. I said, lady, I didn't drop anything. I listen, a little bit to kind of understand, but once it get goofy, I don't get upset like that. I don't care about this stuff. Like you saying today, it's the 4B movement, and you can't even pay these women to fuck you when it's hoes everywhere. I mean, I heard, and that was like almost 2 years ago when that was said. Is the 4B movement still in place? I don't know. It just be extremes. And they sit in groups privately and drink their coffee like that round table or whatever, the red table talk or whatever it is, and just say wow shit. And I'd be like, yeah, you got the freedom of speech, but you saying the craziest shit about men in general. Do you really feel that way? And now that you feel that way, you still feel at the same time that they're supposed to pedestalize you and treat you like what they talking about now, divine feminine. Yeah.
As an actor, he's extremely talented. And by the time you get to I Am Legend and he's holding down the screen for 2 hours, especially as a black man on top of that, because it isn't like America does any great love for black men and black male actors. It is what it is.
What up, Lord?
But you can't deny the man's talent on the screen. He's brilliant at what he does, right? So that said, how does a wife feel when she didn't get to live the reality that you did? As a matter of fact, she believes you may have even took it from her, not because of anything logical, simply because that's just what she thought was going to happen. And in many ways, society told women that that's what they were supposed to be. That not only could they have it all and be CEOs and bosses and all of that, but they were supposed to be. And in the black community, in many ways, our women were taught from a young age that they were inherently superior to their men. They were smarter, more capable, stronger, faster. It's like the bionic woman shit for real. This is what they were taught. They looked down on their men, even the ones they loved. Their sons, their brothers, all of it, boyfriends, husbands, even the ones they loved. They were taught how to love from a position of superiority. I think that's what we're seeing. Some of this here, you know, with her in particular, it's rooted in a frustration.
They were taught. This is crazy. Shout out to Tierson Johnson. I think he being fair, but then I'll be like, oh yeah, I listen to this and then Tierson Johnson is a goofy. Why? See, people say stuff like that, and I be really wondering. I be really want to understand why is he a goofy? Angry Man is a goofy. Minister Jap is a goofy. Saint the Sinner is a goofy. Why? I really be want to know why. Why are y'all saying they're goofy? Because I just think they just regular dudes and they had a perspective on things, and then it's a equal woman somewhere that sounds very similar. What they call black woman empowerment and the sisterhood and all them, they be in groups, a bunch of them. These men, but these men, and then it be men up there with them. That they frame up something and say, don't you agree? And these men ain't shit, right, brother? Yeah. These niggas ain't shit. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Let's move forward. They always go, nice. It's so much more to unpack right there. No, you get the gist of this. These are people everywhere with a common story, just like these women be everywhere and have a common story. The other day was about women being cheated on, as if men don't be cheated on, as if men don't come home to some bras is so foul. They having sex with the baby daddy that don't take care of the kids that he been taking care of for years, and they sleeping with that dude in this dude's house, in his bed. He at work all day, paying the bills, and she at home sleeping with the dude that's a deadbeat. That's why she got multiple kids with him. He know how to blow her back out, but that's about it. And he ain't paying no. He done let the kids down over and over again and did all of this shit. And then coming to your house where you paying the bills and sleeping with her in your bed. But Nidus, you make that's a lie. They'll sit, the women will sit in the chat and be like, Nidus up there lying. Okay. And I be asking honest women, is that a lie? Then women don't exist? That don't be happening? Man, it be, man. This shit be wild. Let me go over here and put this in the Discord. StreamYard got a mind of its own. Can't pin the link, so I got. Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to the Discord. Put the link in there, and then take it from there. We learned this trick the other day. Okay, so there we go. Now we take the link from there. Copy it. Let's see, so we can pin it. Give me 1 second, y'all, while I get this together. We're not going to be here for a long time. We're just going to be here for a strong time. Let's see if we can pin this link. Oh, yeah, it ain't working. Well, somebody in the Discord, come over here and see if y'all can pin it. Well, let's see. It should be in the, what's the name? What am I looking for right now? Oh, yeah, I want to grab this right quick. Right? I like the way this look right here. Let me snatch this up. Let me snatch this up. Let me see right quick. Smash this up right quick. Let's grab this. Use this as a beautiful background. There we go. Working now. Go back in the studio. Link. I don't see it. So let me go back out here again. Interesting. Let me go grab it again. Everything I'll be messing with be doing this here though. I go to link in the Discord. Let's grab it again. Copy. Copy. Try again. Okay. But it won't. Let's say, go to channel, put user in timeout, hide user. Not what we want to do though. Why is it not showing up? I put it in there twice, but I don't see it on this side. Very interesting. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna move forward. It won't drop the link. Let's see. And we paying for StreamYard. And it's sometime use a bitch. Has a mind of its own. Matter of fact, let me go to the vertical side. See if it'll link over there. Nope, we won't link over there either. Very interesting. I thought I'd figured this out. Let me see. Let me see the link here. Jackie Treehorn. He said it wasn't meant to be. That's 5 times I'm gonna put it in. Pin, it doesn't say pin, it says go to channel, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel. Interesting. But we're not gonna do it. Stay there. We'll move forward. If it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be. Let's see, share the video. And we go on to this conversation. And I just sped that thing all the way up, and it still sound regular. Everything about YouTube is not working today. Playback speed is at 140. Let's turn up to 150 then. Let's turn it up to more. Let's turn it up to 160. It's supposed to sound like chipmunks. It sound regular.
I work almost every day, almost.
Do you?
No, not really.
That's what I thought. But we have a special guest.
We do.
And we should do a proper introduction.
Okay, take it away.
I know this will sound familiar, but we've got Dave Chappelle, who is, I am such a huge fan of Dave Chappelle, and I'm going to read him his bio, but I want to tell you two things about meeting him for the first time. One is Dave Chappelle is one of those people who makes me laugh just by thinking about him. I can think someone says Dave Chappelle, and I'll start giggling. And I'm going to tell. I mentioned this to Dave in the car or when we were riding around. Everybody knows Dave smokes.
No.
I hadn't smelled smoke since our mom passed away. And it was such...
Our mom smoked,
This
by the
sounds
way.
weird. But our mom smoked. And being around Dave gave me this warm feeling.
That nicotine love.
Of being around my mom.
Yeah, he told me that this morning. And I was like, really? You're really going to tell that story?
I am, because I think people relate to something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, let's introduce Dave. Come on,
Dave Chappelle is one of the greatest comedians this country has ever produced. Full stop. Multiple Grammy Awards, the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, the highest honor in comedy, a voice that has shaped culture, challenged power, and made the whole world laugh and think at the same time. This man is a legend. So it is a genuine joy, a personal honor for the both of us to introduce a man who is not only the most important artist of our generation, but a true neighbor to this community.
Pause. Let me put this link out there. Y'all can hit the go inside the Discord. You go to Discord, and then in the Discord, hit the StreamYard link. So hit this link in the Discord. Will this one show up? I believe this is this is the Discord link. Yeah, hit the Discord link if you can see it. Let me see if I can see it inside here. Oh, I don't see it inside here either. So StreamYard just ain't gonna show us nothing. Let me put it out there one more again. Shout out to StreamYard. I would get a free month free. And then all the people who have access to the link are not here. Let's go to it though.
Yeah, y'all thought I didn't know about that, didn't you? Welcome, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Wow.
Thank you.
Dave, thank you for inviting us here to Yellow Springs, your home. The tour, as Craig was saying, we got in our cars. There were about 8 of them, and we drove around and we, saw all the wonderful sights. Had the opportunity to stop by your mom's house, Dr. Sion. Thank you. Just a beautiful, beautiful. Why was it important for you to have us here?
Let me speed it up some more because I still feel like it's moving super slow. Even though I got it turned up so high. Go up to 170.
Well, being yourself, being Michelle Obama, I'm sure it's not lost on you that this community feels seen by the world if it's seen by you. And unbeknownst to you, maybe this community have an enormous amount of support. Ohio elected your husband twice. And here locally, the message of hope and change resonated profoundly. And I was telling you earlier, and I think you guys would agree, when Obama was running for president, it felt as if he lived in Ohio because the presence of his ground team was so strong. And this radio station is our community's like lifeblood to us. It's our connective tissue. And we got close to losing them to Dayton, Ohio. And we were able to work things out and get this building built. And this is the first time I think this room has ever been used in any actual recording capacity. And man, I can't think of a better way to inaugurate any room, but with you and your brother here amongst us and our friends and family. And it means the world to us. It means the world to me, but all of us, I could say without a doubt, are elated that you're here.
That there was driving around, I told you I got this familiar sense. I mean, one of the greatest privileges of my life was not just serving as First Lady of this country, but getting to campaign throughout this country. And what I saw on the campaign trail is very reminiscent of what I felt here driving around your community. And it is just a decency and an openness and a willingness to connect with people. And as Luke said, to accept people for who they are. And I always want to translate that to people across the country, because in a time when we don't feel like we see each other, I just want to remind people that communities like this one is really the truth of what I saw in America. It was the America I was representing. And I felt that, I mean, it was oozing in every stop that we made. And I think it's important for our listeners to understand that America has not.
And that's the thing. I be thinking that it's a lot of code language when people are talking. When they say things like accepting people for who they are. What does that mean exactly? It's usually talking about the alphabet community. You can think whatever you want to think about yourself, and I'm not here to cause any harm to you, but you're still, if I'm looking at a dude, I think I'm looking at a dude, but I don't want to call you Miss or she or whatever. I'm just going to be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? This acceptance thing to be said, though. Who's it this? Now, don't get me wrong. There are people that got an issue with that community. I can see them people being a problem. But I don't think you're going to change their mind. What's going on, Rogue C? There's certain people that are never going to accept it. I can see that I can see that EJ is saying that EJ is a woman, and he has to chastise his dad even and say there is no son. Your son don't exist. All there is here is a daughter.
Disappeared. It is here alive and well and thriving throughout this country. So it's just been a thrill for me to be back on soil like this. But you were raised here. This was your community.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you had your connection to Yellow Springs. Can you talk to us about why this community is so important to you?
I think my presence, my family's presence in this community is an extension of like my father's life work. He lived here all my life, and a lot of the ethics of community, I learned from him. My mother and he are both from Washington, D.C., so I would mostly live with my mother. But at Christmas time and summertime, I would come out to Yellow Springs, and it was so much different in D.C. And also kind of prepared me for what my life would be like, because I was a kid with two lives. I had friends from out here, and I had friends in D.C., and D.C. is like, it's black.
Very.
Right. But this town is white. And I would come out here and play DC records for them, and they'd be like, what is this music? And then I go home, play rock and roll stuff in DC, and they're like, what is this music? But I felt like before there was an internet, I got a good sampling of culture that way. And that upbringing really did kind of help me become the type of comedian I am. It made me less.
I don't know how old Chappelle is, but I'm 56. And I know for a fact that MTV played every kind of music before they ever played some real black music. Michael Jackson was the one who kicked down the door for black music. And then I think after that, it was Run DMC, and then everybody else flooded in. Back in the day, to see some black music, you had to watch Video Soul, Soul Beat, and these, were little small stations. Well, I think one was out of DC, one was out of Oakland. To hear hip hop on the radio, we had a radio station named K-Pool, and it used to come on at a certain time at night, and it was always staticky. So when I tell people my first listening to hip hop and whatever else, it was off of cassette tapes, taping off of the radio on the staticky channel. And then when it came to like the local artists, which was Too Short and Freddie B, and them, you always got like a third, fourth generation of those cassette tapes. So somebody would buy the tape, the original tape, and then they would make copies of it and sell them. So Too Short would sell a tape to somebody. Somebody would get that tape, then make copies, put a tape on one side of the in the radio, and a tape on the other side of the radio. So that's why when I used to talk about Too Short tapes, I used to always talk about them hissing, because they were second, third, fourth generation. So all that original Too Short stuff had that. But yeah, I remember being younger and looking at VH1 and MTV, and what was it? Adam Ant, Oingo Boingo, Kaja Goo Goo, the Go-Go's, the Rolling Stones. They had Blue Oyster Cult, Ozzy Osbourne, Willie Nelson, ZZ Tops, Meatloaf. So we heard all of that music because that was the music for me. Oh, yeah, I was doing something the other day in StreamYard Rogue C, and I deleted a bunch of people's wrenches. I accidentally, when I was trying to get TMKC wrench back, when I put her name in, it didn't pop up. So when I was I had to delete it and bring it back, I swiped. I don't know. If you had a wrench, just let me know. That was an accident. Your wrench was accidentally took, and I think Lord ADS had a wrench too. No matter of fact, Rufus too. Yeah, I accidentally took people's wrenches the other day, messing around trying to get TMKC wrench back. Rufus, I know Rufus had a wrench. Yeah, I accidentally swiped a bunch of people. I have to remember who exactly it was, because I hit probably about 5 people. Let me see, we got Eden Man. Oh yeah, I know that LA got a wrench. Yeah, I swiped a bunch of people. Apologize, y'all. So Lord ADS, you got yours back. Rufus, you got yours back. Rogue got hers back.
Afraid of people. And this is going to sound weird here, but maybe not afraid of white people. So in comedy, in like say the 80s, really the 90s, comedy circuits were segregated. And people don't know that. The black comedians played one set of rooms and white comedians played one set of rooms. And Washington, which was a majority black city, didn't have any black clubs until a few years into my career. Not to say that it was always like that, but for just like full-time comedy rooms, I started out in what they would call white rooms. I can remember one of the owners saying when I started out that he didn't like more than one black comic on the show because he said it would offend his audience. It's like, dude, it's Washington, right? But I always played anywhere that anyone would listen. And I didn't realize that I was a little older when I would see some comedians hit like an invisible wall. Like they would never play Sunset Boulevard, or they'd never go play Greenwich Village, or certain comedy staples that they just considered white rooms. They felt safer on Crenshaw or on this place or that place. They thought they wouldn't be understood. And I thought that the challenge of art was no matter where you go, you should try to be understood. And that, I don't know.
When we first saw Chappelle, they considered Chappelle to be a white comic because he started out in white rooms. Being in Half Baked, being with Jim Brewer, being with Norm Macdonald. They used to consider Chappelle like a black man that played white rooms. We didn't really see him get like to his soul period until he did Killing Me Softly. Before he did Killing Me Softly, the person who I thought was like him was called Reginald Hudlin. It was Reginald Hudlin, and it was another dude that is what Chappelle looked like he morphed into. What's going on, King Rooster? King Rooster, I took your wrench a year or something ago. because it was a lot of DC comics. It was a lot of DC comics. And like I said, even if you look at those early movies that Chappelle were in, like Half Baked and all of this, and matter of fact, to be honest, Chris Rock early stuff was kind of like for a white audience. We didn't really see Chris Rock get into his real thing until what was that show? What was that stand-up he had? Because see, Chris Rock is like a student of comedy. So it's whatever that special is where he has Woody Allen and Rodney Dangerfield and all them as his comedic inspirations. That's the first time we saw him, get real like so-called black. And then later on, we heard the story about he was bullied by black folks. The people that was cool with him was white folks and blah, 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 blah. But nowadays, they call Chris Rock a sellout and a coon. We quick to call each other's sellouts and coons. Now they calling Killer Mike a sellout and a coon.
Something.
In fact, the new iteration of Chappelle to me is Chappelle has become like a modern Dick Gregory to me. He's not telling ha-ha jokes like he used to do in Killing Me Softly. Oh, I remember the first time we kind of saw the black edge to Chris Rock. That stand-up was called Bring the Pain.
About that upbringing, the duality between Ohio and Washington, I think made me game to become what I became.
What are some of your fondest memories? When you think of the time with your father, your friendships here, how old were you when, what was your age range when you were spending time here? The summers, it was holidays?
My parents split up when I was 2. I don't think they actually got divorced until I was 5, but they split up when I was 2.
What did your mom refer to your dad as? The gentleman?
The gentleman that I was married to.
My gentleman, we went to my mom's house today and she said, yes, my ex-husband used to live around here. I'm like, damn.
She said the gentleman I was married to.
The gentleman I was married to.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like your dad.
Yeah.
You can see where you get those chops from, huh?
But you know what's funny? Okay, I don't have any memories of them married. I have a couple memories of them being married. But I have a lot of memories when they were together. And it was always very polite. They never spoke ill of each other. They always found something good to say, And knowing both of you, I hope you don't mind I say this, Mom, I can see exactly why they fell in love. And I can see why it wouldn't work.
Exactly like time.
Yeah.
Let's call this.
You know what I mean? And I think one of the funnest or most interesting parts about becoming an adult is learning what the adults in your life were actually like.
Yeah, I think about that also. My mother and father wasn't together. My father literally just didn't talk about my mother, period. And I used to like bombard her with my daddy, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy. And she used to always say, well, I'm not gonna say nothing bad about your daddy. You're gonna get old enough where you're gonna have your own relationship and you can determine which way you feel one way or the other. And when I got shipped to my father, my mother was in that accident for those 4 years after that, because I was with him for 4 years, he never spoke about her. Didn't say, did she get out of hospital? Nothing. So for them 4 years, I thought she had passed away. That's how much he just don't talk about her. And even when she was passing, I took him to the hospital. He kind of like touched her foot and just left up out of there. He didn't like looking at, you don't like dealing with like sickness and hospitals and all that other stuff. Or at least I thought. Until like one of my cousins got into a car accident, which paralyzed him and messed up my other cousin. My father was in the waiting room. But as far as like seeing people, whatever, I don't think he liked that. He don't like being in that situation. He came there he came in there and said, "Oh girl, is he looking out for you?" And kind of like looked at her and like touched her on the foot and left the place completely. To me, I was like, why did you come in the first place in my mind? But yeah, those relationships where, people, and even when I was younger, he would come by and see me and be like, "Come here." And I'd be like, "I'm not coming there. I'm back home with my mother. What are you talking about, buddy?" And I mean, even our relationship is very contentious. But hey, he got people that like him.
I mean, and getting past the role of them being a senior, just people that came before you that were trying to figure things out. So I always joke with my wife, Elaine, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm getting older, but the kids are catching up. You know what I mean?
It's like, when'd you get so old?
Yeah. It's just like, but I have incredibly fond memories of living here. Now, when I was younger, I should tell you, this place was different because Antioch College was a much stronger force in the town. And your viewers aren't going to know, Antioch College, if you think of the most radical leftist politics, go left of that. and that's what this town was about. There was a policy.
So there you go. I was waiting to see when would they get to the left conversation. I don't know Chappelle's politics, but I know if I see Michelle, we're going to somehow get around to the alphabet community conversation. Even when Barack was on here with his legs crossed talking about you need more gay friends. So we got there early. We're 13 minutes in and we already there. Let's go.
See, that Antioch made years ago that everyone used to make fun of called Ask Every Step of the Way. And this was 30 years before the Me Too movement. That was like if you were getting ready,
Yeah, we know.
Well, and then you would be like, well, may I kiss you? Or may I do this, that, or the other? You would ask.
Right.
And man, the whole country was laughing at that policy. And even I was like, because I was living in New York at the time, watching the news, like, oh, they're making fun of Yellow Springs. And so I came home for Thanksgiving. And I found out that my father's widow wrote the policy. Wow. He was alive at the time. And I asked him, like, oh, John, what was that? And she explained to me the reasons for the policy. And I laugh about it now because it's so much like what Hollywood just went through, all this weird ambiguity. And it's like, how do you teach young adults how murky sexual contracts are? Because if you make them correctly, no one should see you make them. And as odd as it sounds, it worked. Yeah. The problem was that people on the campus there was like an astronomical amount of sexual assault accusations. And she says, like, as an administrator, by the numbers, you have to recognize that can't all of these be true, but you can't dismiss any of them. So we have to teach them what it is, and it worked. Those same numbers plummeted. So Yellow Springs, I say that to say, has been on the cutting edge of solving certain types of problems that Americans face all the time. This is a thinking person's town. I love doing all kinds of stuff, but man, and this is going to.
A thinking person's town. What exactly does that mean? What's going on, Zoomer? A thinking person's town. I don't know. Like I said, people that support that community, they want to be men, they want to be women, and whatever else. I don't have no like anger towards whatever their decisions are. I just don't like the people that get in your face. Because what are you in people's face for? You need to understand my pronouns. Why? I'm leaving you alone. Why are you bothering me?
Sound crazy? I have the most joy thinking. I told my wife years ago, I know you remember, I said, babe, if you ever see me staring off into space, don't bother me because I'm working. If
like,
you see me writing something down, I've already done the
I'm
hard
gonna try
part.
that with the rock. Don't bother me. I'm working.
It is like it.
Feel like you can blame Dave for that.
Let's move past that part. The commercials and everything.
Thank you for that. And but what I think our listeners and viewers want to know, what's a typical day for Dave Chappelle in Yellow Springs when you're not thinking?
Well, I was gonna say, I get up at 4 a.m. and stare off in the space. Well, okay, this question is actually at the core of why I like it here, because the days are predictable and they're simple. Look, the rest of a public person's life, it's like a circus fighter. Not nearly what I've experienced with you today, because I can't even imagine having that many people have to be involved in every move you make. But public life is not an easy life. But for me here, like, everyone's as famous as I am here. We all kind of know each other. We all see each other every day. So, I know a lot of names. I know a lot of faces. I have people here that I love. I have people here that I love not liking. If something bad would have happened to them, I'd miss.
Not like
man,
that.
I would love to fight with this person or ice cold shoulder this person. But it's that kind of culture. And like, I'm not that old, 50 years old, but there's a whole generation of kids that I watch go from like nothing to adults to like strong, really wise adults. it's irreplaceable. It really does remind you of the value of people. And I think most people don't, you know, I'm lucky because I get to be celebrated for what I do. But I think most people forget how much they influence the people around them. And there's people here that I'll see and I'll know from the rumor mill that they're going through something terrible, and I'll see them smile through it and, hey, Dave, good morning. And I admire that. And it reminds me to be the same. And then when I go out in the world, I can be more courageous because I know I have a place where if I completely wiped and came back here, they'd just be like, they'd all smile, good morning, Dave, even though they knew I wiped.
That's a beautiful thing to have a place where you can feel it's home and they accept you no matter what, and they're always there for you. Hope is not just because you're a multi-millionaire. Hopefully it's genuine. Boom, boom, boom. I just be sometime looking at my family member stuff that they be looking at. It'd be lightweight wild. A lot of septum rings and a lot of tattoos and eesh. It's hard to keep up. Let me see. Let's jump forward a little bit to the real juicy bits.
Like that. And when I saw that, more than any type of style, I'm like, man, I want to be like that. And that notion made me work, I think, more patiently than I would have. But that was the moment I knew that fame was one of the things I wanted. But whatever the hell that thing Richard had, that moment.
So then what does it feel like when it doesn't work?
Now it does. Now, man, okay, that's a good question. You mean like if I do a show and it doesn't go well?
You know that, and when the love doesn't come and the opposite comes.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be both and.
Yeah, maybe it's more like, in my experience, it was both. Because I was doing jokes that some people thought were controversial and some people didn't. But that experience, from my perspective, is much different than what it must have been like watching it. Because, you know, listen, people would think it's me versus the gay community. I never looked at it like that. I always thought it was corporate interest and culture negotiating itself. So, you know, most of those people who were critical of what I was doing didn't seem like they were of it. They had their faces pressed against the glass, commenting on what we were doing in there, but they weren't in there doing it. And I think I spoke to you about this earlier. Every opinion you can think of is represented in a comedy club. Every type of person you can imagine does stand-up comedy, transgender stand-up comics, black, white, Asian, every kind of perspective. And we all champion whatever opinion we champion. We would never think to silence one another. We might duke it out on stage in the sense of like, if someone says something racist and I get mad, I'll be like, yo, put me up next, because I'm gonna say something about what he said. But silencing that person wouldn't be anything. And then after the show, we all be upstairs drinking. And we might still talk about it or argue about it. But that's our life. And we're artists, and that's what we do. And we have this outlet.
That's good comedy. That reminds me of Tough Crowd. Tough Crowd, you got Rig Giraldo, you got Nick DiPaolo, you got Patrice, you got Colin Quinn, and then a lot of other different comedians mixed in. So if you know Nick DiPaolo get a little too racist, you got, you know, Patrice right there. But they mix them and move them around. My thing is it funny? That's what I'll be looking at. Is it funny? Let's see. And then just understanding, you know, I don't have no problem with having understanding of, you know, people, but I understand from afar, because all this stuff has always been around. Once again, I just don't like it imposed on me. I'm not going to be at no pride parade with, with a rainbow on my face, but I'm not going to go disturb a pride parade either. Let me see. And I mean, even we heard Pryor say some wild stuff about his childhood and things he did and how family members violated him, and he was able to, you know, proceed with life. So we have those understandings, but it ain't nothing too crazy.
So for a media outlet to speculate on a comedy show that they weren't at or misinterpret a joke, or like, you know, nothing makes a comedian madder than reading his joke wrong in the paper. You know, and reading a joke is nothing like hearing one or being one. And the intention of a comedy show is a very unique intention. We are playing with whatever the culture is made of, and we break it down and we get it right or we get it wrong. But in all art, if it's going to be good or even hopefully great, you got to have a margin of error. And what they were doing was acting like thought or speech was binary. Like everything's either this or that. But all art is in between that. It's all nuance. So when they take nuance out of words and it's like, did you hear what he said? He said, it's like, yeah, but that's not what I was saying. So
we talk about, you know, the first time I realized, oh my gosh, I'm in politics was, you know, my husband's running for president. I was campaigning heavily for him, but my experiences campaigning were in communities like this. It started small and then it grew from there. And all my conversations would be like this, extemporaneous, talking to a group, introducing myself, telling a joke, trying to humanize myself and my husband, introducing us as real people, but not on script. And there's a difference in how you would see the crowd respond right here. You know, we're all in the room together. You know, maybe the words wouldn't be exact, but we would all be able to feel it. You know, and that feeling wouldn't just be a small group. It could expand into a stadium. You know, an arena. The people there could feel the intent. But then I realized, oh, it's not about the people here. It's about the people with their faces pressed against the wall, interpreting what I said without being there.
Right. Or even more insidious, trying to bend what you say to make it more interesting or salacious or because they have a different, I don't know why they do all the stuff they do, but I do know in recent years, it's, you know, you'll hear a lot of comedians complain about it. And what they'll say is, we can't say anything. That's not true. Mm-hmm. You can say anything that you can get away with. Right. And that's the skill. Yeah. You know, the negotiation with the audience of what's acceptable is what makes the genre so interesting. And it could change from room to room, night to night. Like every room's a little different.
Let's get past a little whoop-de-whoop. It's about pushing in boundaries, and if you can get the crowd to go along with you, might go to jail. That ain't happened to Chappelle yet. He's been able to get off of what he want to get off. It is what it is.
It's like everything I learned in school, he executes perfectly. Like if you know what you're looking at, it's amazing. And in the Academy Museum in LA, they have his script with the marked up margins, and I saw it. And it just reminded me of how much work this guy puts into acting and how serious he is. And I don't think a lot of comedians would be that serious. But Richard Pryor was a great actor because he was vulnerable. Cat Williams is a guy, every time I see him act, I'm like, man, he should do that more because he's great at it. It's surprisingly great at it. And he never studied a day in his life. I don't know how he knows how to do that. I went to school. Mm-hmm. I read books and I can do it like, you know, but some people can, it's like music. Some people can just play. Mm-hmm. I don't know how.
Do you feel like you tap into that vulnerability?
Well, I do. I think I'm more vulnerable on stage than most comedians. Yeah. You know, I'll say anything when people feel like they can't say anything, which is a vulnerable position to put myself in. But some jokes, it's like, I just want to see if it works. I don't want to not try. And I think that I've, over the years, cultivated an audience that's more forgiving than most people's, than a casual comedy observer would be. These people, I think, almost come to experience the danger because the audience is also vulnerable if you're taking it out of bounds. Yeah, I don't know.
So there's much talk about you walking away from the show. It's been discussed, but I find it, I was reading something where you said, you know, you just went out the country for a week or so.
Yeah, just kind of 2 weeks.
It's just like, you know, what do you think it was about that time that made people lose their minds over you making a decision that was preserving yourself?
I think at that time it was the idea that the money, no one, you know, comedians weren't getting $50 million checks that I'd heard of. I think it was the money, and at that time the show was wildly popular, and it was all of a sudden it was just gone. And you know, I got to tell you the truth. When I quit, I thought, you know, maybe I'll go back, but it took some time for me to realize, like, oh, I'm never going back. Maybe like a year. And then I thought my career was over. I believed that for a few more years. So I went through the whole process of mourning the narrative that I had in my head of being a big star. And at that time, I was just back in Yellow Springs. You know, Yellow Springs is welcome back, superstar. I'm like, oh, man. But,
it's like, no, how are you really, Dave?
Yo! Perfect opening. Took me I don't know, we think like maybe 4 years to get over it. But man, imagine how liberating that is to believe that it's over.
How liberating is it? I don't find this liberating. Whatever's going on right now, whatever this is going on right now, where I'm on day after day like I normally was, doing the things that I normally do, and ain't quite working out, it's not liberating. It makes you wonder how genuine was whatever those relationships were. I legitimately came on tonight because I was trying to catch somebody because they sent me something and asked me what I could do with it. So I came over here so I could tell them, like, give me an email or give me a IG or something so we could talk about it. Because I don't want to just start doing stuff. I didn't know exactly what it is you're looking for. I thought this was going to go more into the this is just a conversation with him. Dave Chappelle, in his own words, fame, family, he didn't really stay stuck on the whole that community thing. I know that these people are around. I don't, because somebody's existence is a part of that community, don't want to harm them. And the religious people that say that they're an abomination or whatever else, I don't want to be judge and jury. I don't have to worry about that, right? They can live their life in whatever their hell bears for, not for me to determine. I have to deal with, the decisions I've made in my life. We don't know what tomorrow brings. I just hope to keep it positive, give you a good show, and keep it pushing. Why, get to learn more things. The more things I learn, the more things I'll share, and try to make these 2 channels that I still have meaningful and worthwhile. But I always say the same thing when I end this show, and that is for you to be great. I appreciate y'all.